These tough economic times are forcing a lot of people to watch every dollar.
And that's just what scammers are doing too, hoping to get their hands on your hard-earned money. Kentucky Attorney General Jack Conway's office has received a lot of complaints from victims of financial scams. They're also taking calls from people just wanting to report calls from suspicious companies. It's one of those calls that prompted a Central Kentucky woman's instincts to kick in and call authorities. Sherelle Roberts has her story in our top story at 11. Sherelle?
Amber, scammers have been known to promise money, homes, and all sorts of great prizes if you fall into their tricky and elaborate schemes. But one pair of scammers couldn't be tricky enough to outsmart the Lexington woman you're about to see. 86-year-old Mary Brown seemed to be a target for phone and through-the-mail scammers.
They did it all the time, off and on all the time for the last maybe 5-6 years.
So her daughter was not surprised when her mom got a phone call the other day.
And they said she has a prize that we want to deliver to her house.
But she thought that was pretty strange.
My mother is deceased.
Michelle Combs told the person on the other line that her mom had passed 6 months ago, but they still kept on, saying she could have the prize. All she would need to do is send them a check to cover the tax on the prize, and then they'd deliver it by UPS.
So I said, well, what's the prize? They said a brand new Mercedes Benz. I said, how much is the taxes? They said $300. I said, and what's the name of this company? And we got disconnected.
She believes all of her questions threw the scammers off, and she recommends that everybody ask lots of questions if offered the same sort of deal. But she says, though this scam was easy to see through,
how is UPS going to bring me a Mercedes Benz? That's what I'm like, that don't even sound right.
She says it sure would have been nice if it hadn't have been a scam. And Combs says another big clue for her to point out that this was all a scheme is that when they asked her to send that $300 check, they told her to send it to Kingston, Jamaica.